This is a bowler squat, and we're trying to imagine that this resistance band represents a muscle that attaches at the top of your hip crest and inserts into your hip bone. And as we do this bowler squat, we're trying to put that muscle on stretch by moving those two bones away from each other, right? So you're trying to move hip crest away from hip bone in this direction. Even though it's called a squat, you're not necessarily going up and down vertically in the front to back direction. It's almost more of a sideways direction as you're trying to think about elongating this resistance band. So we're going in this direction with a slight knee bend and back up. We're trying to bias the gluteus medius muscle that runs from inside the hip crest into the hip joint and helps control things in this direction, right? Sometimes you see variations of the bowler squat where people are going this direction with a more knee bent position and a more forward reach. We're not necessarily doing it like that because we're trying to bias the gluteus medius in this variation. So grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell that is slightly lighter than you think you need. You're going to have it in the opposite hand of your stance leg. Stance leg is on the ground, and I tell people to imagine there is a horizontal line on the ground. You're trying to trace that with your big toe of your floating leg, and you're bringing the dumbbell towards your stance leg foot. And all in motion, that kind of looks like this, and back up, right? Knee is not really bending much. We're controlling the descent. This foot is tracking straight that direction, and then we're coming back up this way, right? The temptation is going to be to go back diagonal, or straight back that way, or bend the knee a lot up and down, but really we're just taking the dumbbell to the stance leg foot and moving this foot sideways to bias a stretch on that outer hip. This is not a high load exercise. You can progressively add load to it, but start low until you really get safe with the movement.